Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Johnny Lively for our wet Wednesday morning that we're seeing. The heaviest has now pushed out of southeast Texas and really pushing out of southwest Louisiana. Continues to move east of Lake Charles. You can see that on the Tamco Live Doppler radar, sponsored by HB Neal Construction and also Tamco Hellguard Beyond Class 4. Again, you can see the heaviest is just east of Lake Charles, now moving or approaching the Jennings area. We have seen about a half an inch to an inch of rain in some areas, or a good number of the areas, some isolated areas, a little bit slightly higher amounts, but some moderate to mainly light rain spreads from Houston, Lake Jackson, all the way into Beaumont and southwest Louisiana. This will continue pretty much the rest of the morning, clearing out by the early afternoon hours, but we possibly can still see some isolated showers later on this afternoon. We zoom out of the region, we can see another big round moving into the Corpus Christi and Victoria area. That's going to miss us. That could bring some leftover isolated showers later on this afternoon, but you can see some rain moving into the state of Florida as well too. 5 to 8 inches of rain is possible for the state of Florida really the next 3 to 5 days this week. They definitely need it, but you see rounds of rain moving through the state of Texas, but we are seeing our biggest round has already pushed through. You can see that on the satellite radar this morning. The heaviest was really around 4 o'clock this morning. Continues to move down I-10 corridor, move past Lake Charles, making its way towards the Baton Rouge and New Orleans area later this morning. Another big round over there towards Corpus Christi and Victoria, where we see some severe thunderstorm watches and warnings ongoing. Again, all of that will miss us, but we could see some lingering light showers from that later on this afternoon. Rain that we have seen, you can see the heaviest has been towards South Texas from Corpus Christi up towards the Bayside area, and then a little bit heavier or some heavy amounts also as well in parts of west and central Texas. But if you zoom into our region, it's pretty common to see this half an inch to an inch of rain in some spots. And again, some isolated areas got a little bit higher, 1.25 to 1.5 inches is what we've seen. But we've also seen some pretty strong gusty winds as well too. Several had 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. We had some isolated areas like Kirbyville that had a 62, 65 mile per hour wind gust, and we're waiting for the Lumberton Middle School to come back online, but before it went off, it showed a 69 mile per hour gust. So this is one of the reasons that we're seeing a lot of the power outages across the region. So definitely give a call to Neutron and Switch Electric for all of your electrical needs. Definitely whenever the power was switching on and off or going on and off, I was thinking, man, I definitely need me a Generac. Should call good old Switch to let them know that I need to get one pretty soon. Temperatures that we're seeing across really the United States, you can see that thanks to our sponsor of Do Good Credit Union out there to the northwest, a little bit slightly cooler, but the rest of the United States about in the same ballpark. We are pretty much into the 60s and 70s, a little bit warmer down towards the south like Brownsville and Miami into the low 80s, but you can see where some rain has moved through. It's a little cooler other than everybody else. I mean, 67 degrees if you call that cool over there in Houston, but everybody else is mostly into the upper 60s to low 70s across the board thanks to our sponsor of Neutron Electrical Services. Our outdoor construction forecast for today is going to be kind of iffy if we really get to do anything done. The heaviest definitely has already pushed through, but we're still going to see this large blanket of moderate to light rain the rest of the morning. And then by the time we get to the lunchtime hours, they'll continue to keep pushing out, but I still expect we'll see some scattered showers still by the lunchtime hour. By the time we get into the afternoon, 1, 2, 3 p.m., it will continue moving eastward. It's really mainly some leftover isolated showers. This is kind of mostly just this morning we're going to see the most of the rain, and in the afternoon it's more just how much do we see some lingering rain. So the heaviest, no doubt about it, has moved through. Now we're just kind of dealing with the light rain that won't move out. So we can see that in the Futurecast, sponsored by Tamco Hellguard. There's that strongest or heaviest rain now moved well out. You can see by 1, 2 p.m. it's moving into Lafayette, even further east. Again, we can see some light showers possible lingering into the afternoon hours, mainly into the early to possibly the mid-afternoon hours. You can see this here at Houston pushing into the Baytown. We'll continue moving eastward again. This is really not much of anything, but still it's somewhat of a kind of just a nuisance, I guess we could possibly say, more than anything. And then overnight tonight, or this evening and overnight tonight, mostly dry. And then once we get into Thursday, we had 30% coverage, but we are lowering that now down to 10% coverage. Possibly need to drop that because Thursday looks to be a mostly dry day today, as we are now getting into a summer-like pattern. And we'll actually switch that looking at the Futurecast sponsored by Do Good. You can see we've been kind of in an unsettled weather pattern. That's going to be changing. Thursday, again, looks mostly dry. If you look down towards the south, you can see that yellow and orange. That is a high pressure ridge that's going to be building in from the south. This will allow us to warm up, but this also will allow us to kind of somewhat dry out. Now, the rain's not going to be 100% out of the forecast because we're going to go into the summer-like pattern. In fact, I would imagine, me and Lucas were talking about this, this is probably going to be one of those summers that you could say that there's a chance of rain, at least 10% coverage almost every single day now until August or September, because we've got the moisture coming in off the Gulf with how the pattern's kind of setting up, even with these ridges. I'm sure there'll be times in June and July we definitely get hot and we can get dry for a couple days. These high pressure ridges build in, but we just don't see a ridge sitting right over us right now. So position of this ridge can still allow for some showers to move into our region. With the heat of the day and the moisture, we can see these summer-like storms pop up on Saturday and again on Sunday as well too. Now, one thing that we will see on Sunday is we could see some storms move in from the north on Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. So that could be our highest coverage as we get into this weekend. But all we really want to show is after today, the widespread rain chances will be moving out and we move into more of an isolated to scattered, more of your summer-like pattern. So you can see Thursday is going to be mostly dry. Don't even know if we should put the 10%. 20% on Friday and this weekend. Same thing, more of a summer-like pattern. Could see a little bit better coverage by Sunday evening. We'll watch some storms try to develop from the north, move into our region, and then we'll just continue with that summer-like pattern as we get into early next week. Still have the moisture, got the heat of the day. We can have some storms that try to build up into the afternoon. This afternoon, though, it's mainly going to be just a chance. As you see the logo showing the chance for some thunderstorms. That's already passed, but we still have that 80% coverage going on right now. As we get into the afternoon, we'll still see some lingering showers. Temperatures mainly going to be stuck into the low 80s to upper 70s thanks to that rain, cooled air, and cloud cover that we have. Thanks to our sponsor of Seals Before Get You One. And then overnight tonight, it's going to be mostly dry. We'll have some clouds. Temperature is going to be warm and muggy still into the upper 60s to low 70s down towards the coast into the mid to upper 70s. This is what we see this time of year anyway. And just want to show as we start off kind of the first week of June, we still have some rain chances. It's just not as high as it has been really the last week. The highest chances will definitely be out there towards parts of west and central Texas. They'll definitely continue to be happy with that. And then further off towards the northeast, they will have the below average rain chances. So the south, and we're going to see that. El Nino is developing. The south is continuing those rain chances. Here's our 7-day forecast for southeast Texas. After today, the widespread chances definitely are moving out. We're moving into a summer-like pattern. You've got the moisture, you've got the heat of the day, you've got a chance for some showers or even some isolated storms also almost every single day, but it's not enough to really disrupt the majority of everybody's outdoor plans. Temperatures getting into the upper 80s to low 90s. Rest of the next 5 to 7 days. Same thing for southwest Louisiana. We're moving into the summer-like pattern as we get into the end of the week, really now into the end of the week through the weekend. A little bit better coverage as we get into Sunday evening. We'll watch for some storms to come in from the north, but really the biggest thing that you're seeing is that we're starting to warm up, moving into a summer-like pattern with those summer-like storms. Wonderful time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app as we're tracking in some light storms, or light showers. The storms have moved eastward, but it's a good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. You can see what time the rain will 100% move out of the area. You can check your temperatures no matter where you are. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Wednesday morning show. Again, the heaviest rain has already moved out of our area, but we're still going to be dealing with some light rain the rest of this morning, possibly lingering into the early afternoon. But after that, we're going to start getting into that summer-like pattern, upper 80s to low 90s, with just a small chance of rain almost every single day, and that's about it. Y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. Have a good one. Thanks again for tuning in.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by
At Gulf Coast Weather Solutions, we focus on delivering reliable weather forecasts. Our new app provides reliable weather updates and alerts no matter where you are. With real-time weather alerts and warnings, you can stay informed and prepared wherever you go. Download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app today on the App Store and Google Play and stay connected no matter where you are.